So, I'm making this festive little holiday game, and I started by making an enemy for a third-person character blueprint. It's going to be this happy little snow globe guy, which I modeled in Blender and textured in Substance Painter, and then I started bringing it into Unreal Engine. I'll show you what I'm going to do with it and what this character is supposed to do in the game. I'm hoping that I could spawn him in, and when he spawns, he just kind of has like little ticking wind-up action for about 15 seconds. You can see as he gets closer to the player character, the eyes blink faster, and when he gets close enough, ooh, it activates a bomb, oh no, and then he explodes. So, I'm going to show you how I did that. And keep in mind, this probably isn't the best way to do anything. This is just how I did it. And so if anyone sees anything that they think could be done better, well, I totally trust you and totally would appreciate that advice. But anyway, let me open up my characters to show you. Alright, so what I have in the viewport here is my little ball character with a capsule collision, and it's a skeletal mesh, and I did this walking animation in Blender, and it has two materials, one for everything but the eyes, and then the second material in the index is the blinking eyes, because I want to be able to control that and make it blink faster when it gets closer to the player, and then I want it to be able to change modes when the bomb is activated, where I'll have it just blink consistently fast with blue lights, and I'll stop the walking and the animation, and then I will make it explode. And the way that I make it explode is I actually swap out this geometry for exploding geometry with physics enabled. So I just took that same mesh and then I kind of chopped it up in Blender, and you could see that I have these 9 pieces, and in an instant when the bomb explodes, it swaps out the other one for this model and activates physics on these 9 mesh components, which, you know, since they're all touching each other, it'll actually make it explode just because the colliders are kind of already at odds with each other. And then I'll make it disappear after 1.5 seconds to kind of give that effect. I'll also bring in a particle effect that I got off the marketplace, a really cool one that someone made with it's like mushroom clouds and fireballs. But all right, so let me take you through this character and how it's set up. And again, keep in mind there's probably better ways of doing it. This is just how I did it. On event begin play, I have it delay for 2 seconds because I have another event on tick thing just for determining how close this little bomb is to the player character, and for how close it is, I actually have it track the distance to the player. I clamp that within a range, and I change a material instance that I create for the LED eyes to change how quickly it blinks. I also have it so it only changes speed when it's in the mode of tracking the player, or actually if it isn't activated. I have this Boolean operator I created called isActivated. That means that the bomb has located the player or gotten close enough to just stop it from walking around and start its destruction sequence. But okay, now we'll go to event begin play, and I have it delay for just a moment to give it time to find the player character. And then I start the ticking sound, which I pulled off free sound, which I'm doing a spawn sound attached because then I'll be able to cut that sound the second the bomb locates a player and stops walking. I create the dynamic material instance for the LED eyes, and this allows me to control the blinking rapidness of the eyes and also the color of it. And so then I have a really basic AI move to, because this is just kind of a stupid little bomb that'll just always follow the character. I don't have any blackboard or any behavior tree stuff. And so the way this works is if there's a player that it could follow, it starts following this player character. And it will keep doing that until it gets within a distance of 150 units. And when that happens, it'll actually trigger off the explosion event. Otherwise, it'll just keep going through that loop where it just keeps trying to find the player. ideally I'd have maybe like a 15-second time for the bomb to find the player, because it has this wind up sound going on, and I want to create the effect of like how a wind up toy, it slows down and it gets quieter as it starts running out of the spring juice. I don't have that in there right now, but anyway, I have it so when it gets close to the player, it just kind of sets off this sequence, and I set this Boolean operator to is activated, and that means the bomb got close enough, found the character, and then it sets off a little click sound. Then it stops the audio component of the spring winding down sound. It stops the active movement. It stops the animation by, actually in this case, since the animation is just in the blueprint itself for the skeletal mesh, I just have it set the animation to none, and that just makes it stop in its tracks. So the feet aren't going back and forth. Then I set the vector parameter value on materials. This vector parameter is actually the color. So in my material that I assigned to the LED eyes, I have a vector parameter, which is the color. So, it goes RGB, XYZ. So my default is 100. So it's just a red light, and then that could blink. What controls the blinking is this scalar parameter. Let me find this material. Here it is. Okay, so you can see that I have this parameter doesn't really matter, but this is a color parameter. It's a vector that I could change when I create a material instance, and then here's the frequency. And so this is just a multiply node over a sine wave with some added light, and that goes into the emissive color. So when I go back to this one here, you see that I could, when the bomb is now activated, I could change the color to blue, right? Could set this color parameter within the vector, or it's a vector parameter called color. Within the material instance, it'll change it from red to blue, and then I could change the frequency to a constant 6 with the sine wave. And then it delays because it starts playing this other sound, which is kind of like the countdown ticking bomb. And when that happens, I spawn the other actor in the location of, and so I just took the actor transform of the original walking skeletal mesh. I took its XYZ. I kind of adjusted it. There's probably a better way to just get it to go right in exactly the place, but I found a place that puts it where it just looked better. And then it destroys that actor, or it destroys the original actor with this new one spawned over it. And so then when we look at the event graph for this guy, which is the exploding mesh, you can see I kind of did it in a little bit of a janky way, but I have it event begin play. So after it's spawned right in, it has this emitter that is that particle effect that I got off the Unreal Engine marketplace. So it creates that boom explosion while it's setting simulate physics on for each component of that static mesh. So each of the pieces of debris, and I think I have like 9 or 10 of them, it makes them explode, and then I have a little delay, about 1.5 seconds, to give the parts to just kind of fly apart and bounce off something, and then it destroys the actors. So if we look at it again, you can see that there, it's far away. It gets closer, the eyes start blinking faster. Uh-oh. Then when it gets close enough, let's make him work for it. Go upstairs and uh-oh. See, that's where the sound ran out. You could see it starts. Oh, no. Well. And uh-oh. Well, it looks like well, anyway. That's that.